Hi, this is Amber Seay, and you're listening to Ears Radio 1. We are here with the legendary Gary Morris. Good morning, Gary. How are you today?
Well, I'm great, Amber, and it's great to be on Ears with you. I've been looking forward to this.
Thank you. Me too. Me too. I've been thrilled about it. You've got some amazing songs out there and some amazing accolades. I just want to get to know Gary. I know your music. I know the listeners are going to remember your music, and we'll get into some of those songs. But tell me about Gary.
Well, Gary, I'll talk about him in the third person. Gary
Yes.
grew up, or that would be me. I grew up in Fort Worth, and I think probably had your typical middle class household and childhood. I have a twin sister and a younger brother, and there's been a lot of was of the day rumors about, well, Gary Morris, he's an opera singer, because I went and did some stuff in New York. But basically, I got no music lessons growing up. I was an athlete, and my twin sister actually went to school on a music scholarship. She played French horn and was the head majorette, that kind of stuff. And so she got the music lessons, and I was the ADD guy. I played 4 sports in high school and 3 in college, and I went out to West Texas to Cisco and played football, basketball, and baseball, and then went to Colorado for a summer, and that's where my music and musical career began. And a couple of other buddies from Texas, we all went there together to drink beer and chase girls for a summer, and one of them's an architect, and the other is an orthodontist, and I'm an unemployed, out-of-work singer-songwriter.
Join the club, right? Join the club.
Yeah.
No, you've done very well. So your sister got all the lessons, and you turned out to be the professional. That's a pair of ears for you.
That's kind of funny, huh?
It is. It really is. It's good. So how did it actually start for you there in Cisco?
Well, music was always in the household. We had a piano, and my mom would sit down and play, and I don't even know if she read music. She played by ear, which is, I play by ear today, even still, even the shows I've done. I'm not a sight reader kind of guy, but and we went to a Southern Baptist church, and I think I sang my first solo I was about 4 or 5 in the choir, and then church was music was really a big part of it, and I always sang in the choirs, and then I did the solos, blah blah blah, and so it had a lot more influence on me musically in the way I end up singing than listening to the radio. And of course, growing up in Fort Worth, and my dad being born in East Texas, and then of course moving up there, WBAP was the channel in the truck and in the car, and so I got an earful of traditional country music from the time I can remember to when I started playing professionally, and it was to be honest with you, what really got me interested in singing more was when the Beatles came along, and I went, wow, I mean that's those things have different kind of guitar chords and melodies, and I went out and bought a guitar and taught myself how to play. So it was those were the early formative years for me.
And then you ended up on Broadway. That's amazing. How do you tell me this? Tell me how this occurred.
Well, I did La Boheme with Linda Ronstadt up there, and I get a kick out of saying in my life I've seen two operas, and I was in them both. And La Boheme with Linda, and that happened. I didn't want to go to New York, but I was on Warner Brothers Records at the time, and Warner Brothers PR out of Los Angeles said, "Hey man, you need to go, audition for this role opposite Linda Ronstadt, because it'll be really great for your career. A lot of people will find out about you and you're singing, blah blah blah." So eventually I did, and then they gave me the role, and I played Rodolfo. I left New York, and L.A. started calling, according to my manager anyway, and I ended up going out and doing a year stint on a nighttime soap called The Colbys and Dynasty, and meanwhile I was writing songs, and when I finished that, I did an album called Plain Brown Rapper, which is one of my favorite records I've done, and was back out there with the band. So I was on the road. Excuse me.
Oh, I was just going to say, so you were on Dynasty and you were on Another World with Crystal Gayle. I noticed you've done so many duets with Crystal Gayle, and I'd actually, I believe I was a little girl watching that episode of Another World when you were singing with Crystal Gayle that day.
Yeah, well, you probably were, because I'm older than the hills, and that happened. That whole thing happened because when I was in New York doing La Boheme, Dave Loggins, a great songwriter and great artist, he had Please Come to Boston and a bunch of pop records. He came to visit me, and we sat down and wrote this song called Making Up for Lost Time. And my intent was to pitch it to Linda to sing, and about that time Warner Brothers said, "Hey, there's this project, we really want a duet with you and Crystal." So I played them Making Up for Lost Time, and Crystal and I ended up cutting it, and it was a big record, and now Warner Brothers wants a duet album. So we did a whole duet album, and part of my bargain to do that was to get to do Plain Brown Rapper. So yeah, I ended up there because the folks in L.A. at Warner Brothers said, "Hey, this is something you should do. It'd be great for you. People will get to know you in another musical format." And it didn't exactly work that way, but that's what the intent was.
Well, it's amazing because now I know, like, from the inside you don't see it as much, but people looking from the outside, that's just legendary. I mean, to have been on Another World with Crystal Gayle, to me, it is.
Yeah. Well, it was a big show, I mean, Another World was a big show, and we got to play ourselves, which was kind of cool doing that. And, then of course, Crystal and I did a few shows together on the road, and she's still out there, and I'm still out there doing my thing. I took 20 years off. Said, and it was I had some help from country radio, because when I went to do Les Mis in 1987, after that time, my new music was not played on country radio anymore, and I was no longer one of them, whatever those are, and so I thought, well, I'll do something different, and so I took some time off, and I bought a ranch in Colorado and built a lodge and outfitted for hunting and fishing, which are my passions, and it was about, I don't know, maybe now 3 or 4 years ago, I decided that I was going to go back out and work, and I really like it. I like going out like I'm doing it now.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of musicians that have taken years off and then gone back and been very successful at it once they, took that time off and did what they needed to do in life. And I know you do a lot for the vets with that fly fishing and hunting too, and that's one of your passions.
I do.
Well.
I do. My first tour doing things for the vet was in the 70s, and I did some USO stuff before I was ever making records. And I was in the, probably a little known fact, I was in the first lottery, and I came up number 12, and that was in 1969, I believe. So I'm going to Nam. So, I kind of got what I thought my life was in order, and I went down and went through the physical, and because they tell you you're not coming back, you'll be getting on a bus headed to wherever. And Master Sergeant was just about to stamp me get on the bus, my get on the bus ticket, and he said, "Well, you need to go to a doctor for 4 weeks." And I went, "What for?" He says, "Well, your blood pressure is high." And I know that somebody had a hand in that, a greater force than me, and I'm sure that I worried it up because I assumed I was going to Nam, and I lost somebody. I'd already lost some buddies in Nam, and so that kept me out of the service. And and then immediately, so I thought, what can I do? So my deal was that I'm going to go out and do what I can do. I can entertain them. I can put together some stuff and go out and maybe give them a little sense of home. And so I did that early on, and now I bring our guys that have suffered wounds, whether they be brain injuries or physical injuries. I bring them out to my ranch in Colorado, and most of them stay for 4 or 5 days, and we put them in the river, and we feed them, and they get in the hot tubs, and we get them catching trout and forgetting some of the stuff that they've stored up in their head, and it's been, I think it's rewarding to them, and I know it is to me. So it's one of the things we do.
Yeah, my hat's off to you for that. That's an amazing thing to do because it's so needed, and there's just not enough of it out there. And for someone to just be doing it because that's their passion is that's incredible. So my hat's off to you for that. We're going to get to some of your songs. Now, in 1984, we'll go ahead and start with this one because it's one of my very favorites. "Wind Beneath My Wings" won you Single of the Year, and that was 84, right? And then
it was in 1984 for the year 1983, and it won Song of the Year for the CMA and also the ACM. So it was a big record.
Okay, yeah, I knew you had won Song of the Year those 2 years. Now I remember it was for "Wind Beneath My Wings." I'm sorry, sometimes it takes me a minute, but yeah, so that one that was big for you for a long time, wasn't it? That must have been quite a ride.
Yeah, well, it still is. I can just start playing the intro on my acoustic guitar, and people will start applauding because they know it.
Yeah.
They know that song, and if you've seen me perform acoustically when I'm out there, I mean, I pretty much give it away. I don't tell them, "Here it comes," but it's and it's a great, I call it, piece of business. Not only is it a great song, but it's a great piece of business and something that, as an artist, I'm proud to hang my hat on and say, well, I get to sing this, and it was something that was in my musical life, and it's much better than having a song you have to sing every night that you hate, that you go, I'm so tired of singing this, whatever,
Yeah.
But not when I love to sing it.
Yeah, I understand that. I sure do. One of my favorites I remember singing so often, and it's still, even, recently, because I listen to the older stations. I like the older country. It's just what I grew up on and what I love. But "Headed for a Heartache."
There you
go. That one, I love that song.
"Headed for a Heartache" was It was you know what? I'm going to tell you the true story. It was pitched to me by the songwriters, and I went, I'll never cut that. And it was just kind of a garbled mess. And so I thought, okay, the lyrics are dated. I can't. I don't think I can do this. And the guy at Warner Brothers who was running the A&R pitched a fit. And I later found out he had publishing on that song. So it's how the whole music business works. But I said, okay, we'll take it into the studio and we'll make a great record out of it. And Paul Worley and Marshall Morgan, they were the producers on that. And Paul Worley is a great guitar player and came up with a da 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 to start the song, and then played a twin guitar solo. And twin guitars were unheard of on country radio in 1982 or whenever that came out. And then you know now you can't tell what it is they're playing, but suddenly there was this up-tempo shuffle and a guy with a beard and long black hair and a great band and a Warner Brothers, and that song gave me a chance to have a career, and then Wind Beneath My Wings gave me a chance for it to be lasting.
Yeah, well, they're both great. And then, I mean, you have so many just unbelievably great songs that I know people remember. Why Lady Why blows me away every time I hear it. I used to sing that one growing up. Yes.
I bet you, well, maybe you might have sung 100% Chance of Rain or I'll Never Stop Loving You. You know, there were some fun records. And one that I probably get a request for every night, even when I'm out solo, is Velvet Chains. And you know, so I get the whole audience to sing along when I do that. But but you know, it was really great fun, and radio was really kind to me until they weren't, and that's the way it works. That's the way the business goes.
That's what I've got to look forward to. Okay, well, good. But yeah, 100% Chance of Rain. I did sing that. I still sing 100% Chance of Rain. I know that song. I love it. I mean, it's just, it's like you have some great songs. And it is the artist that makes the songs great, because like you said, somebody gives you a song and it's just, I won't even name any names right now, but I've got one like that to work with. It's dated, the lyrics are dated, and I just need to do it, but not so sure that I can, because, so you give me hope there. So
well, yeah. I think there's a huge difference in a great song and a great record. And you can have really great records that answer, you know, or that check off all the boxes that really the song is pretty much nothing. It's you know, it's 4 lines in a cloud of dust, but you know, the guys making the records can massage it into something that is entertaining and something that's inviting for the audience. And you know, radio, they've been real honest about what they want at commercial radio, which is one reason I like talking with you. But at commercial radio, they look at music as just filler for their ads. So if you don't sound like everything else on the radio, you're going to catch somebody's attention, and they don't really want that. They want the music to just be homogenous, and then they want their commercials to stick out, and that's the way it works. And that's it's Paul Harvey today. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is how I learn this stuff, because I need to know it all. So it's good doing these interviews with people like you, because I pick up some of the best info, and you know, it's very helpful info. A lot of other people have to pay good money for. So
well, I'll send you, Amber. I'll send you a bill when we're done.
I don't know if I can ever pay it, but go ahead. No.
Right. Well, let me say here what I want to. I want to be up for New Artist of the Year this year, and
Yeah.
you know, and everybody's gonna laugh. I'm gonna go, no, 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 no. What I'm doing and what I'm presenting in the record that I'm actually finishing today, what is a new look at what I do and a new look at me as a writer, and I'm going, we're going to submit it, and we're going to try to get in the new artist category, because you know it's been 30 years or more since really I was out there on the radio, and I'm thinking that maybe I don't know that anything that I've recorded will be radio worthy, but why not? Why not say, hey, we want to submit Gary as new artist of the year, not not male vocalist, not you know, best everything, just new artist of the year, and so with that, I've got new music, and new music that I think is current, represents me, and some of it represents what's going on in the world.
When will it be coming out? Is it out now, or is it coming?
It'll be out. I'm going to say that hard copies will be out by the 1st of July.
So coming up real soon. Well, all right. Well, listeners, look for that new music. That'll be good, because if you did it in 1982 for Billboard, New Male Artist of the Year, so you can do it again. No doubt.
Yeah, I'd like to be
that.
new artist. I'll be a new artist again, and I've even shipped you some new music, so you have 2 or 3 copies of brand new things that are off the new record.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we'll definitely play those for sure, with pleasure.
All right.
And when you get that new record released, we'll have you back on, and we'll talk some more about all your music. I want to make sure it's going to be a long show, because we're also going to play Baby Bye Bye for the listeners, because that is another iconic song that you can't not play when you're doing a Gary Morris show. So that's how I feel about it.
A lot of people don't realize it, but Wind Beneath My Wings did not go to number 1. It died at number 3. My first number 1 record was Baby Bye Bye. Was
it? Okay. Well, I guess assumed because of the awards, and I kept counting up your hits from what it said in the biography, and I'm like, no, I'm counting 7. Why am I counting 7 here? I don't know, but I didn't know that, but you would think it would have, but you sure won a lot of awards for it, and it sure turned out wonderful. Is that the song? I'm just curious. What song did you sing for the Queen of England when you performed for her?
I did. I did 30 or 40 minutes. I did a whole, not just a song. Yeah, okay. I was the entertainment. So, and Wind Beneath My Wings was the last one. It was cool. It was very cool to do it. You know, I got this call from Lady Bird down in Austin, saying they wanted me to come perform when the Queen was coming, and I accepted it. And about 2 days later, Bush Sr. called me, or his office called my office and said, we'd like to have Gary come sing when the Queen comes to Washington. And I went, well, that'd be great, but I'm already doing it in Austin, so you should give that honor to somebody else. So I don't know who sang she went to Washington.
Oh, that's amazing. It really is. And you got to meet her and actually speak with us. That's amazing. And you have performed for every president since Carter. And is that still something that's going on, or did that stop?
No, I missed this current president, but up till now, I got them all.
Got them all. Well, I mean, that's just amazing, Gary, honestly. You have just an amazing life story. You really do. Something you should be proud of. Do you have children and grandchildren?
I have children, no grandchildren. I have 4 sons.
No grandchildren yet. Okay. Well, they'll definitely have a legacy, and remember Dad and Papa, I promise you. It's just
That'd be
amazing,
great.
Really. So, well, we'll get a lot of your music played, and where can people find you on the internet? Of course, they can Google you. That's always easy. But do you have a Facebook page?
I have a Facebook page. I think it's currently full, but there's There is a Gary Morris band, I believe that is, and that's unlimited, and it's posted regularly. And then my website is GaryMorris.com, and all the records and everything that I have is up on GaryMorris.com, including a fly fishing clinic at my ranch in Colorado for women only, and that's the week of the 4th of July, and also including a DVD of the North American Sportsman series that I produced and host. It's the best of. All those things and all the records are all on GaryMorris.com.
Okay, cool. Well, they can go there and look it up, get some of your stuff. Awesome. That's good to know. Good to know. Good information. Well, we'll have you back on when you get this new music out, and the listeners know where to find you now. We're going to have a great show with all your music here, and I sure have enjoyed talking to you.
I've enjoyed talking to you, Amber.
Is there anything else you think we need to let the listeners know before I let you go here?
No. Everything's great. Maybe one day I'll see you on the little sandy beach called Padre Island sometime when I'm down south.
Because now wait a minute, because you're going to be coming close to South Padre Island, June 15th.
Well, Houston is or Tomball is about as close as I get to South Padre Island this time, but maybe next time I'll be closer.
So you've got a few dates coming up. In
Texas.
In June 15th in Texas. Okay, so I bet those are posted on your website for people to,
yes, they are.
to see. Okay, good deal. All right, well, I didn't want to forget that. Live shows. Go support your live musicians for sure. All right, Gary.
All right,
it really has been a pleasure talking to you, and we'll talk again real soon.
Thank you, darling. Have a good day.
All right. You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.